Hey guys, this is GUS G and you're watching Guitar Mania channel.
Welcome to Vienna. It's really an honor to have you here in the Austrian capital, and it's great to see you.
Yeah, man, pleasure to be here. It's always good.
And I understand you played in Mannheim last night.
Yes, we
How
did.
was the show?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
Fantastic. Great crowd. I mean, it was Friday night, you know. It was packed. It was great. I had my godson. He jammed on stage with me. He's 10 years old.
Oh, really?
And he's been playing guitar for a year, so I had him on stage and he played a song with us and everybody went crazy. Yeah.
Excellent.
It was really cool.
Cool. Probably that was one of the best shows to date
Yes.
for the current tour.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's all been good shows, really, to be honest with you. On this tour, I didn't expect that because, I mean, it's my second solo tour, but it's the first time I'm going as a headliner,
Yep.
you know, on my own, really. And, you know, we're going to really intimate venues and stuff. But, you know, it's been good turnouts and good crowds. And,
Yep.
you know, even like in a midweek show, you know, the crowds have been like really loud, especially in Germany. I didn't expect that.
Yeah. Is the set list always the same, or do you change that, or there's some?
More or less the same, you know. We have a couple of songs that we'll fly. I mean, we're gonna change the set list a little bit for the Swedish shows because we have some extra guests, so we're gonna be playing some other songs. I'm gonna have Just Got Soto with us singing in a couple of songs, but other than that, no, it's more or less the same. I mean, I've added some new stuff on this tour, specifically for this tour. I'm playing some stuff from my old band, Dream Evil, that I haven't played for 12 years. So yeah, fans seem to dig that stuff.
Yeah, cool. And I've also read on your Facebook page that you have started or even finished writing the songs for the new album. Is that true?
Yes, correct. We just finished tracking the drums. Actually, a couple of weeks before the tour started. And when this tour finishes up, I'm gonna go back and work on the guitars, start recording guitars, and we are looking at mixing, you know, this spring. You know, after I finish this, going straight into mixing. Hopefully, it's gonna be finished by the you know, sometime this summer. I don't know when. Hopefully in June or July. Let's see. You know.
Can you tell us a bit in what direction you will be going?
You know, it's the continuation of the first one. Really, I mean, it's still gonna be. It's going to be probably more modern rock stuff this time. You know, still in the hard rock vein. You know, some songs are a bit more riff orientated this time, some more riffing in there. There's still going to be a couple of instrumentals for all the guitar freaks out there, you know, some shredding.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's good. And it's going to be some guests again, but lesser guests this time. I've been writing with a closed group of people that I'm work with and I play live with. And for example, Matt Slaven is going to be involved again in the songwriting. And I'm writing with Jacob Bunton, who's a guy from America, who sung on a song on the first album. But now we wrote 5 songs together for this one, and he's got an amazing voice and he's a talented songwriter. Yeah, and maybe a couple of more people.
When it actually comes to the recording of the record, like also for the last one and now for the new one, what is your approach? I mean, are you someone who aims for like first take tracks, or is it like you're really a perfectionist and you try to nail every? How do you approach that?
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of, you know, I fall into the category of being the perfectionist. I will sit there with a solo and just like do a lot of takes and keep what I like and then slowly build it up like that, you know. And for me, the solo has to have a beginning, a middle part, and an ending.
Right.
You know, I love improvising, especially on stage. I improvise a lot, and sometimes it's successful, sometimes it's not. You know, but that's that's the risk that I'll take on stage. But on a record, I don't take those kind of risks. You know, I like to work out my solos.
So as what you're saying is that each solo is a mini composition in itself.
Yeah. I try to do that. Yeah, I got that from Randy Rhoads actually. Yeah.
I mean, that's a good point, and I wanted also to ask you. I mean, you have been stepping into the footsteps of such giants like Randy Rhoads, Zach Ward, and we all know who played with Ozzy. What would you say in your own style? Like, what have you taken? Which elements from Randy Rhoads or Zach Ward are in your own playing?
Lots of them. If you really take my playing and dissect it, you'll find a lot of things from a lot of players. Not only Zach or Randy, but a lot of guys. You'll find Dave Gilmour in there. Yngwie Malmsteen. All those guys. Marty Friedman. I listen to so many players, been influenced by so many guys, and I always say I learned guitar from those guys. Not like personally, but just listening to the records and being influenced. That's how I learned guitar. These people, inspired me and influenced to become, the guitarist I am.
Mm.
Yeah.
And when you first took up playing the guitar, was it more like you transcribed the solos and you listened to the records, or was there also a part where you did sort of an academic sort of routine where you sat down and went through scales and chords and stuff?
I did both. I did my homework for my, that my teacher would have me to do for my, because I went to a conservatory.
Yeah.
So I would do that. I would learn my scales, my theory, for the week, whatever the lesson was. But I also picked out a lot of, like all the solos I learned by ear. Everything. I would kind of like stop the cassette and rewind and stop and rewind and destroyed a lot of cassettes.
That was with tape decks still.
Yes,
yeah.
Yeah, back in the 90s.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I did a lot of that. I learned all my favorite solos with by ear.
But did you slow them down?
No.
Half speed?
No,
really?
no.
Wow,
No,
you must be.
I didn't have that, so I don't know. I didn't know how to do that. I didn't think cassettes could do that. Cassette players, did they?
Well, my 4-track recorder, for instance.
Oh, the 4-track recorder.
Yeah.
On a 4-track, yes, I could, but I didn't get a 4-track until much later.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be surprised actually the stuff you can learn by ear. It develops the hearing so much more. Not only the intervals and stuff, but it teaches you how to play notes. A chart can show you the note, but cannot tell you how to play it. You can only hear that. You can hear how a guitar player recorded that specific note. If you listen close enough, you can even hear which position he chose to play that note.
Mm. What would you say is or is there a particular exercise or routine that you would say is particularly beneficial to improve as a musician?
Well, the thing is, it's not just one exercise, you don't really, it's like saying how to have a fit body. You don't just work on your biceps, you work on your back, you work on your legs, you do cardio, it's everything, it has to be, with the guitar, it's like you have to, learn your chords, your scales, you have to understand how scales, the relative minors and majors connect to each other all across the fretboard. You have to understand the modes, and what possibilities that opens for soloing, for example. And for me also, like I always wanted to be a good solo player, but also a good rhythm player. I didn't want to be just a guy that solos or just a rhythm guitar player. People like Dimebag Darrell were very influential for me because he was like the ultimate heavy metal guitar player. He could riff amazingly, but then when he broke out the solo, it was like as great, just the sky opened up,
Yeah.
So I wanted to have that in my playing. I wanted to be a great rhythm player and a great lead player.
That's obviously something that sometimes people tend to focus more on the solo skills and solo chops rather than rhythm.
Yeah, no, I know, and riffing is very important. It's the rhythm, it's the back. It's what makes the song groove,
Yeah. Gus, this also raises the question: do you still practice, and if yes, what?
Yeah, of course I practice every day on tour. Actually, what do I practice these days? I work on techniques. I mean, lately I've been working a lot on picking techniques. Like I'm getting into trying to find like new licks, new ways of doing things, and then maybe changing my picking style a little bit. Now I'm working a little bit on economy picking. I haven't done that in years. I'm always like an alternate picking guy. So now I'm getting a little bit into economy picking, and I realize that I've been doing it without really realizing all these years. So I'm trying to like analyze my playing. I'm paying more closer attention to my picking hand these days, than I used before. And that's also one thing guitar players tend to do mistake. We all look how fast our left hand goes, but we forget what's happening here. And it's all about the coordination. You know, I mean, you know, you can move your fingers fast, but don't forget to look what's happening in your picking hand. That's where the sound comes out from. You know, how you pick. You know, that's like a big part of the tone comes out of, you know, this hand, because it's right over the pickups, and how, you know, what kind of tone you create, how hard or how, you know, how soft you're gonna pick, and, you know, if you're gonna choose to play legato or, you know, more staccato, or, you know, it's like the possibilities are endless. So.
Do you use a metronome while practicing?
Not these days so much, but if I'm trying to work out a new lick, yes,
Yeah.
I'll kind of like slow down again and then build it up.
Build it up,
so,
yeah.
Very important things, you know, and it's fascinating to me. Like, I've been playing guitar for 25 years. It's fascinating, you know, all this stuff still.
You're playing with so many different musicians. What, besides the musical skills that you have to have, would you say are important skills that you should bring when you're playing with other people?
Character. You as a person. It's almost it's as important, if not more important, than your musical skills.
You're kidding, really?
No, I mean, that's what I think. Nobody wants to spend 24 hours on a bus for I don't know how many months a year with an asshole. Nobody. Touring can become such a miserable place if you have somebody who you know, if you don't get along with people, you know, together. There's always, of course, that one asshole, you know. But I mean, we don't have one on this tour, luckily. They're all our brothers, you know. So, but you know, it's like you're gonna be spending time with with a lot of people. Like, you're gonna have no privacy for weeks and weeks and weeks, and you need to make sure that
that you get on
the people
well
that you're around
yeah.
with, they're fun.
Yeah.
And you're all having fun. You're all on the same page, you know. And
yeah.
you know, it doesn't have to be the best players in the world, you know. You know, that's one thing, and but you know, their character, you know, their personality is as important, if not more important.
I mean, and probably,
and of course, people that also know. Sorry to interrupt, but also people that know their place in the band. That's very important too. A lot of people, they don't know their place in the band. You know, they think they should be doing something else, or they should. You know, some people think they should be having more. You know, you know what I mean. Like, if you play for somebody, you know, if you're a hired gun for somebody, you're obviously hired to do a specific job. You know, yeah. You're not there to run the show. You know? So, and a lot of people tend to forget that. A lot of musicians, and you know, that creates troubles and all that drama we see with bands.
Yeah. Gus, thank you so much. One last question, and we have to ask you that is, what are the plans with Ozzy?
We're going to South America in April. We're playing Monsters of Rock Festival in Brazil and Argentina, and we're doing a short tour with Ozzy, Judas Priest, and Motorhead.
Wow!
So it's going to be amazing in April. And I mean, I heard this Oz Fiesta in Mexico happening this summer, and I think they talked about doing a residency in Las Vegas later this year. So I don't know the details yet, but I saw it in the news the other day. So I'm like, okay, we're going to be in Vegas playing some shows there. So yeah, so you know, just waiting and seeing what unfolds, you know.
Excellent. And record-wise?
I really have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm always the last to know about these things. So you know, it's not my call really. You know, it's up to him. Yeah.
Was there? I mean, he has played and he's such a legend. Is there something particular that you've learned from him?
I learned a lot of things from him.
You know,
playing shows at that level, you know, and you know how to. I mean, just watching Ozzy, the way he controls the audience, you know, the way, you know, the effect he has on them. That's just mind blowing, you know. And of course, you know, like building up a stamina of running up on that stage, because those are huge stages, man. Believe me, you know. And just, you know, he's just a very professional guy. You know, he always shows up on time. You know, he really still cares about, you know, his colleagues and everybody. And that was just a beautiful experience for me. You know, just to get to be a part of that big machinery, see how it operates. You know, every day is like a big day there. You know, so it's great.
Excellent. Gus, thank you so much. All the best for the remainder of the tour. Looking forward to tonight's show.